Well, let's turn now to the latest in the impeachment inquiry of President Trump. In a revised statement, the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, is now acknowledging a quid pro quo agreement between officials in the U.S. and Ukraine. That is a big development. Joining us live from D.C. to discuss is Alex Nazaryan, national correspondent for Yahoo News. Alex, what's the latest on this, and how does this Sondland testimony change things as we move forward?
Well, it changes things in a way that isn't entirely favorable to President Trump, because the revised statement acknowledges that there was something nefarious going on. I believe the word he actually uses is insidious, and that's not a good word to describe your foreign policy with. And both Sondland and Volker suggest or say outright that Rudy Giuliani was running his own foreign policy channel that was not aligned at all with American interests. It was aligned purely with President Trump's political interests. And that is also very troubling, because that's just not how the U.S. does things. Does it rise to an impeachable offense? That's what we're about to find out.
So, Alex, it's Kristen here. Sondland was one of the more, I guess, Trump-friendly witnesses that had been on the docket. Do you think we're going to be hearing more of those Trump allies kind of jumping ship, so to speak, as the ball really gets rolling on this testimony?
You're absolutely correct that Sondland was seen as probably the friendliest witness to Trump thus far, and that's absolutely no longer the case. Now, look, you don't come in with a change statement like that unless you believe you're dangerously overexposed. And Sondland's lawyer is a pro at this. All of these witnesses have hired top lawyers. So, does he suddenly remember this conversation he had in Warsaw on September 1 about having Zelensky do a statement? Well, I guess he says he suddenly remembered it, but one could be skeptical about what jogged his memory. I suppose perjury could have been that impetus. I'm not saying he perjured himself. I'm just saying the possibility would certainly lead one to revise a statement and add some information that, for whatever reason, wasn't there before.
Alex, here in New York, where we at Yahoo Finance cover the markets and the movement in stocks day to day, some have been surprised at how little the impeachment goings-on have really affected the market. Most agree it really hasn't had any effect on stocks. Over in D.C., what's your view on things? I mean, has that continued to be the biggest story there is, or we're really still focused on the trade war and other Trump-related issues? How do you see people kind of reacting day to day and talking about the ongoing impeachment inquiry?
Good question. I would say D.C. is totally riveted. This is, the Trump reality show is in full swing. It's pretty much prime time all day long here. We get presidential tweets. We get testimony. We get, Kellyanne on the White House on the White House lawn. So it's just we're getting so much information every day. Some of it is contradicting, some of it is puzzling, but I would say Washington is totally riveted. And you mentioned the markets. I also have questions about people outside of sort of the Acela corridor. How much are they interested in this? How much does this affect their day-to-day lives as they struggle to pay bills, think about whom they might vote for in the presidential election next year? I'm not sure that impeachment is at the top of their things to think about. It's absolutely at the top of the list here inside the Beltway.
All right, Alex Nazaryan of Yahoo News. Really appreciate you coming on. We'll have you back on soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.